talking to the Boutillier family, owners and operators of Starlight Cafe and Farm, located at 104 West 5th Street in Greenville, North Carolina. Hi, today we're here with Mr. and Mrs. Boutillier from Starlight Farms and Gardens. I'm Riley and this is Ava. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the farm?
Absolutely. We started the farm in 2011, and Alan had been looking for farms for a long time because we own the restaurant Starlight Cafe, and we wanted to be able to grow some of our own product for the restaurant. So we looked and looked and looked, and one day we found this farm, and it had barns and pastures and land. It was perfect. So we started with very small gardens, and after a little while we now have about 1.5 acres under gardens. We have about 12 acres of pasture. About 2 to 3 years after we started the farm, we got a very small breed of cow called Dexter cows, and you'll see them later. We then got a small breed of sheep that are a very heritage old southern breed of sheep called Gulf Coast native sheep. We got chickens, I think, before we got any other animals, and the chickens lay lots and lots of eggs. Once we got the cows and sheep, we started getting a lot of flies. And so I looked into how to control insects, and we got these ducks that you see out there that are Muscovy ducks. Can we hear you, dude? The Muscovy ducks primarily eat insects. And our fly population went from being unbearable to being almost not noticeable. We also have bees. We have a little orchard, a little grape arbor, and huge old pecan trees. And so everything that we grow here, either we eat it or it goes to the restaurant.
So Starlight Farm is an organic farm, which means all the animals, all the plants, everything that we raise here are fed organically, which means no toxic chemicals, no poisons. And our chickens, every day in the afternoon we let them out into the pasture so they can forage and supplement their diet of grain with insects and other things they find in the pasture. So these are what you call pasture raised chickens. And our feed the grain that we feed them is also organic. Okay. So when we go to let them out in the afternoon, we open that little red door and they go out into the pasture, and they're very excited about doing that. And at the end of the day, when it starts getting dark, they all come back in by themselves and go into the chicken house and roost by themselves. And so we just have to close the door at night to keep the predators out.
So what do you do with all the poop that you have?
We don't, on an organic farm or any farm, we never refer to it as poop, but it's manure. And manure is a real, on an organic farm, it's a very necessary commodity because we turn it into plant food. And the way we do that is once a week we come with our tractor and we shovel all this manure up. And then we take it to our compost piles. We have like 3 or 4 compost piles where hay and all the other leaves, things like that we gather. Some of our cuttings from our restaurant, kitchen cuttings. And then we compost it, and what happens is bacteria in the manure and from some of the other ingredients start eating the manure and transforming it into basically into very dark, beautiful soil. And we take that soil and we put it in our gardens where all the plants are growing. And that's how the plants get fed.
Could you talk about what the soil was like when we first got to the farm?
Well, this was a commercial farm when we came here, and we had to convert it to organic. And so that's the first thing we had to start doing, was making the soil, building up the quality of the soil. And all this compost we put in it changes it from just kind of sand, like in a sand lot, to nice, dark, rich soil. So that's part of the reason we have animals, is to get their manure. That's all right.
So why are there all of these leaves on the ground?
Well, we have this 200-year-old pecan tree here, and it's shedding its leaves, but the point is that nothing on the farm gets wasted or thrown away. All these leaves we have something we pull behind our lawnmower, and it sweeps them all up, and they go into the compost with everything else. And so they become food for our vegetables also.
So the leaves taste like pecans?
I think they're a little bitter, but the cows like to eat them when they're green. Like you could pick up a green one and the
Well, they
cows
come
would come
from
over and eat it.
Go ahead and go ahead and eat some and let me know.
Actually, it tastes like an apple? Yes.
Eat a leaf.
Take a green one. Take a green one. Don't put those nasty ones.
Yeah.
Taste the green one.
We're introducing, kind of bitter, huh? That'll teach you for doing what I tell you to do.
The cows love eating them.
Orange piss.
All right.
Now remember, this is for you kids. Don't eat leaves or any weird plants you find on the ground unless a farmer or a parent tells you. How old is this 100-year-old farmhouse?
It was actually built in 1911, so it's 107 years old, technically. And when we came, it was quite dilapidated. There were a few add-on rooms. The roof was sagging, the ceiling was sagging, so we did have it redone, but we maintained the structure. We maintained most of the rooms as they were. There are a couple of rooms in there that haven't really been changed at all. And then we took all the outside siding and we had it planed down and put on the floors. So the floors inside are made from what was on the outside under the vinyl siding when we got here. You go home. I know.
So you repurposed a lot of things when you remodeled your
We
house.
did. We kept some of the beams that were under the house. We put one of them on the mantle of one of the fireplaces in there. And then, instead of buying new flooring, it was the old wood on the outside. In the inside, there are a couple of walls that still have the old wood that was on the outside of the house, because the kitchen was actually a separate building. So we left the outside kitchen wall the same.
I've also noticed a lot of bees around here. What's up with that? What's up with the bees?
What?
The bees.
Yes, the bees are taking the pollen from the camellias. In the fall, there's not a whole lot they can get, but they can stock up on pollen, which is the protein that they feed the babies with, so the babies can grow. So good noticing. They're all over here. They're flying today. Some of those are not honeybees.
So what do you use the greenhouse for?
Our greenhouse, we use our greenhouse to start all our baby plants. In around February, we start putting seeds in the ground in the planting mix, growing baby plants, and then once they're a certain age, we move them out into the beds in the garden, and it's called transplanting. And almost never have to, there's not a water supply to this greenhouse, but the rain barrel supplies all the water I need for the babies. And once in a while I have to fill it up from the well, but almost always there's enough water in there for watering.
That's going to be a wood-fired bread oven pretty soon.
Piece. And by late spring they'll be full size and producing berries. Most of the winter they're just kind of dormant and wait for the longer days of spring before they start growing.
We have a row of kohlrabi and kale, and the plants just came out of the greenhouse about a week and a half ago. They stayed outside to what we call harden off, meaning get accustomed to the sun and to the cold nights. And we just planted them yesterday and they got rained in, which is perfect. Have ages, so this is just the started pile, and you can see it's got all this stuff, leaves and kitchen scraps and manure, and you can see all what it is. That's the oldest pile, and it just looks like a nice piece of lovely earth. And the other two are intermediates.
Sounds good, right?
This is one of our hardy orange trees, and we got enough oranges this year to make marmalade from it. It survived last January's like hard freeze.
What are the bees for?
So the bees are mainly here for pollinating. We get a little honey from them sometimes, but they're very useful for pollinating the fruit trees, and some of the vegetables in the garden need pollination. Back legs as they're coming in. Once in a while you see these big clumps of yellow or orange. That's their pollen. And some of them have kind of full pollen baskets. They may not today. Cutie. They usually won't bother you unless you're messing with them. Worst thing you can do is like whack the side of this with a stick.
Well, what would happen if I whacked Ava with a stick? Thank you for taking the time to talk with us about your farm and what your farm does. So we appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Our pleasure.
Comfortable. Hi, today we'll be talking to Mr. Toby Boutillier, the chef and owner of the restaurant portion of Starlight Cafe and Farm.
So this morning we visited your parents' farm and they told us that they supply a lot of your products. But do you also have relationships with other farms?
Yeah, we use lots of other local farmers, and it's important relationships for us. It decreases our carbon footprint because of less packaging, less time on the road to get to our restaurant, and also the plus side is you just get a better product and a fresher taste and just good stuff.
So what do you do to recycle here at Starlight?
We recycle all our bottles and cans to the city, and we do take some of our vegetable scraps and compost them at our farm. And we use biodegradable straws and 100% recycled to-go containers. And we use no disposables here, so all the dishes are washed and reused.
New Aruka Farms grass-fed beef patty.
Delicious. Thank you for meeting with us. I really enjoyed it. Lunch was amazing. evening. Thank you for having this interview, taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're the chef and owner. So,
Thank you guys for coming out, and thanks for shedding some light on the important issues.
Great.
Thank you, and we hope you have a great green day in Greenville.